Good morning, dear student. I am Kunal Kiran from the Millennium School, Lucknow. Dear student, we have been discussing journal. In this chapter, we have learned how to journalize business transaction in by understanding two methods. One is conventional, and second we have discussed modern rule. So, quickly, I would like to recap modern rule. Under modern rule, under this modern rule, we have divided accounts on the basis of their nature in five categories: assets, liabilities, capital, expenses, revenue. For assets, for assets, if the value of asset is increasing, it should be debited. If value of asset is decreasing, it should be credited. For liabilities, modern method says if liability is decreasing, it should be debited. If liability is increasing, it should be credited. For capital, it says if capital is increasing into the business, it should be credited. If it is decreasing, it should be debited. For expenses, it says increase in expenses, it should be debited. If expenses are decreasing, it should be credited. For revenue, that is income or gain, if incomes are increasing, it should be credited. If decreasing, it should be debited. So this was yesterday we have discussed, and we have also used it in understanding the adjustment entries. Today I start with a very important note that whenever you purchase an asset, whenever you purchase an asset, if any expenses incurred on purchasing an asset and that whatever other expenses incurred to make that assets in working condition, so all the expenses incurred from purchase to up to the assets start working, they are become the cost of an asset. For example, suppose if you have purchased a machinery of rupees 1 lakh, you have paid carriage rupees 10,000, you have paid registration charges 10,000, you have paid unloading charges of machine at your factory 5,000. So all the expenses apart from the purchase price of an asset, these extra expenses incurred on making that machinery in a working condition, they become they become cost of asset. They, although individually carriage, registration charges, unloading charges, they all are revenue in nature, but they should be capitalized. They are going to be treated as capital expenditure, and they should be debited under asset account. So this note says expenditure incurred on purchase of an asset, on its installation, erection, etc. are treated as capital expenditure and they are debited to asset account. Another point of note is expenses incurred on purchase of goods, for example, carriage, freight, etc., should not be added to purchase account. Purchase, you know very well, purchase account is a revenue expenditure, and any expenses incurred while you are purchasing goods, they shouldn't be added to the purchase account. They should be recorded in the books of account individually. So these on these two notes, I would like to give you some example. I have taken first example as a this is the first example. Purchase a machinery by giving a check of rupees 3 lakh and paid 25,000 in cash as wages on its installation. So in this transaction we are purchasing machinery of rupees 3 lakh and we have paid 25,000 wages for its installation. So 25,000 we have paid on wages for installing the machinery that is capitalized, that should be added to the machinery account. So machine cost of machinery become 3 lakh 25,000. So machinery account will be debited with 3 lakh 25,000. I hope you know very well the rule that machinery is an asset. Real account debit what comes in, credit what goes out. That's why machinery is debited here. Cash is going out. We have paid cash for the wages, so cash is going out. It should be credited. And the same time we have paid purchase price of machine by check, so actual giver is bank, so bank should be credited with 3 lakh. This is under conventional rule. If you do it under modern rule, asset is increasing in your business, so increase in asset should be debited. Machinery account should be debited with 3 lakh 25,000. Cash, that is what you have paid for wages on its installation. Cash as an asset is decreasing from your business, so it should be credited. And the same time bank is, yesterday I have discussed, bank has been taken as an asset because bank is nothing but representing the cash at bank. So whenever you are making payment, cash at bank is also decreasing, so decrease in asset should be credited, so bank account should be credited with 3 lakh. So the journal entry is machinery account debited to cash account to bank account, and the narration is being machinery purchased for rupees 3 lakh and wages paid for it for on its installation is 25,000. Now next example I have taken, this one is the second example I'm taking. Bricks for rupees 15 lakh and timber for rupees 10 lakh purchased for the construction of building. The payment was made by check. So bricks and timber is going to use in constructing a building. So construction of a building is an asset for the business. So whatever the expenses you are incurring for construction of building, they shouldn't be taken individually, they shouldn't be recorded individually, they become the part of the cost of the building. So construct cost of the construction of the building. So bricks, timber, or even wages pay, you are making payment for the those laborers working for construction. Any expenses incurred on construction of a building should be debited to building account. That become the cost of building. They are treated as a capital expenditure and they should be added to the asset account. They should be debited to asset account. Here bricks rupees 15 lakh and timber rupees 10 lakh we have purchased for constructing a building. It become, we will not debit them bricks account debited or timber account debited. We will directly debit to building account. So building account will be debited with 25 lakh and we are making payment through check, so to bank 25 lakh. So if you are using conventional method, building is an asset, real account debit what comes in, credit what goes out. So building account is coming into the business, so it should be debited. And bank is a personal account, debit the receiver, credit the giver. Bank is right now in a giving position, so it should be credited. If you are using modern rule, then building is classified under as an asset, so increase in asset should be debited, so building account should be debited. Bank is also an asset, so when you are making payment, then definitely bank balance will be decreasing, so it should be credited. So journal entry for the above transaction is building account debited to bank account. Now next is purchase an old machinery of rupees 1 lakh and spent 5,000 on its carriage and 20,000 on its immediate repairs. Entire payment is made by check. So you are purchasing an old machine and purchase price is 1 lakh, and again you are spending 5,000 on its carriage up to your factory, and 20,000 you have spent on immediate repair of this machine to make it in a working condition. So this repair what you are spending, they it is giving you benefit for without spending this money you cannot start work with this machine, so it is very necessary. So this repair expenses should be capitalized and it become the cost of this old machine what you are purchasing. So machinery account will be debited with 1,25,000. Asset is increasing in asset as a machine is increasing your business, so it should be debited. And the same time you are making payment through check means your bank balance is decreasing. Bank is also an asset. Decrease in asset should be credited, so bank account should be credited. And you will write in the narration being machinery purchase as a carriage rupees 5,000 and 20,000 paid on its repair. Now, fourth, paid rupees 2,500 for repairing the office furniture. So you have already office furniture with you, and that every year as a we spend some money on repair and renewal or servicing the asset. So those expenditures which you are spending for just maintaining the working condition of an asset, they shouldn't be capitalized. They should be treated as a revenue expenditure, day to day expenses. Revenue expenditure we have discussed while we were discussing accounting terms. So revenue expenditures are those expenditures which are incurred on day to day expenses. They give you short term benefits. So they will not be capitalized. We will record this repair charges as a repair account debited to cash account. Repair is expenses. Increase in expenses should be debited, so repair account will be debited. And the same time you are making payment, so cash balance of the business is decreasing, so it should be credited. The journal entry will be repair account debited to cash account, and the narration will be being repair paid on the office furniture. Now next example I am taking, bought goods from Satyam for rupees cash 50,000, also paid rupees 1,000 for their carriage. So in this transaction, we are purchasing goods from Satyam for cash. It is a cash transaction because cash is mentioned. And apart from this, we have also spent 1,000 on its carriage. So, as we have discussed in our note, that whenever you are purchasing goods, any expenses incurred on purchase of goods, they should not be added to the purchase account. They will be they will be recorded individually. So goods purchase, it is an expense for the business. Increase in expense should be debited, so purchase account will be debited. Carriage inward, we have paid 1,000 for carriage because carriage was paid for purchasing goods and bringing that goods up to your business house. So that's why this carriage is written as carriage inward. Suppose if you are selling goods and you have paid carriage to deliver that goods to your customer, that carriage will be known as carriage outward. Although you can write carriage only, it is suffice, but to just make it significant, so you can also write it carriage inward. So carriage inward, why we are using carriage inward? Because we are incurring carriage expenses while we are bringing that goods to the business house. So carriage inward we are using, it is an expense increasing in the business, so it should be debited. Cash balance, cash is an asset, it is decreasing in the business, so it should be credited with 51,000, being goods purchased and carriage paid on it. Next, I'm taking purchased building for rupees 2 lakh and paid 2% brokerage on its purchase, also incurred 24,000 on its registration. Payment for building was made by check and brokerage and registration charges were paid in cash. This is a transaction. We are purchasing building of rupees 2 lakh. We have paid 2% brokerage on it. Apart from this, we have also paid 24,000 on its registration. As we have discussed, whenever you are purchasing an asset, whatever the expenses you are incurring on it, they will be capitalized, they become the cost of an asset. So we will not record brokerage or registration charges individually as expenses. They become the costs, they will be added to the building account and they will be debited to the building account, it become the cost. So building account will be debited with the 2 lakh as a purchase price of the building plus 2% brokerage charges, that will be, that is to 4,000 plus 24,000 registration expenses. So the cost of building become 2 lakh 28,000. So asset is increasing in the business, so building account will be debited. And the same time, this says payment for building was made by check and brokerage and registration charges were paid in cash. So bank balance is decreased by 2 lakh, so it should be credited, and the cash balance is decreased by 28,000, so decrease in asset should be credited, so cash account will be credited with 28,000, and we will write it building purchase through check and brokerage rupees 4,000 and registration charges 2,800 paid through cash. Another point of note I have discussed is whenever you are purchasing whenever you are purchasing this note, pay attention here. Whenever you are purchasing iron safe, filing cabinet, computer, etc., will be treated as office equipment and debited to office equipment account. They are assets for the business, but we club them under one account, that is office equipment, because in office we are using so many equipments. If we are keep on debiting individually, it become voluminous, so we clubbed them under one account, that office equipment. So if you are purchasing iron safe, filing cabinet, computer, or any the other equipment which is used for the office purpose, they will be debited to office equipment account. They will be recorded under heading office equipment account. They should not be debited individually as a iron safe account or filing cabinet account or computer account. So keep this my note in your mind. I'm giving you example. Purchased filing cabinet for office use rupees 40,000 and paid rupees 200 as cartage on it. So filing cabinet is an asset and we are incurring 200 cartage on it to bringing to the business house. So the cost of filing cabinet become 40,200 and we will record it as a office equipment. So asset is increasing in the business in the name of office equipment, it should be debited. Increase in asset should be debited, modern rule. And the same time we are making payment of cash balance is decreasing, so it should be credited. Asset, if they're decreasing, it should be credited as per the modern rule. So the narration is being office equipment purchase and rupees 200 paid as a cartage on it. Next point of discussion is if you are purchasing postcard, envelopes and stamp etc., should be debited to postage account. as postage expenses. Do not record them individually, such as postcards account, envelopes account, or stamp expenses account, etc. They are a postal related expenses. They put under one heading, that is postage expenses or postal charges. So whenever you are purchasing postcards, envelopes and stamps, it should be debited to postage account or postal charges account. Postal charges account or postage account is they are, these expenses are day to day expenses, they are revenue in nature. So for example, we have purchase of postcards of rupees 250, so you will debit postage account debited to cash account. Postage expenses, this is a expenses, it is an increase in expense, so it should be debited. And the same time, cash is an asset, it is decreasing from the business back, cash balance is decreasing, so decrease in asset should be credited, so cash account is credited, being postcards purchased. Now another important point is, whenever you are purchasing pen, pencil, eraser, notebook, register, etc., should be recorded under heading stationery expenses or stationery account as a revenue expenditure, because stationery is a day to day expenses of the business. So instead of debiting pen account, pencil account, or eraser account, or notebook account, we will clubbed all the accounts under one account, that is stationery expenses. So suppose I am giving you example, purchased a register of rupees 100, pencil of rupees 100 for office use, so it will be recorded under stationery account. Stationery account is an expense, increase in expense should be debited, so stationery account will be debited with 200. And the same time, we are making payment of rupees 200, cash balance as an asset is decreasing in the business, so decrease in asset should be credited. So the journal entry will be stationery account debited to cash account, being register of rupees 100 and pencil of rupees 100 purchase for office use. So that's all for the day today. And keep revising these notes, and also note down in your class notes. This is the one question I'm giving you for the homework. Please do it, and if there is any problem to solve, please ask to me. Do not hesitate. Thank you.